Hey there, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. So hey, today I want to talk about why traffic stopped working and exactly what to do about it. By the way, if you need help with a lead generation and or a content marketing and or a marketing process so that way you can generate more leads and get more clients, there's two ways that we can engage. Way number one is if you're watching this on social media, you can go ahead and send me a direct message with the word marketing. We'll set up a call, look at your process, and show you some things that you can do from an optimization standpoint. If you are listening to this on one of my other platforms, there's going to be a link somewhere around this piece of content that allows you to go ahead and schedule a call. If you're listening to this live, do me a favor, hit pound live. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you happen to be catching this via the replay, do me a favor and hit pound replay and let me know where you are tuning in from. So why traffic stopped working and what to do about it. There's a saying in marketing that says you don't have a traffic problem. Instead, you have a conversion problem. And that's really true. So in the sense that, let's say if I desire to do paid marketing and I want to go ahead and get some traffic, I can go inside of a platform such as Facebook and I can just push a button and Facebook will send me as much traffic as possible, which is why there's that saying that says that you don't have a traffic problem. Instead, you have a conversion problem. So in order to fix that type of a problem, what we do is we set up a conversion process. We send people to what we call a marketing funnel, right? That marketing funnel may start off by giving someone something for free in exchange for their contact information. We get them into their funnel, and as we get them into our funnel, we can go ahead and remarket to them, and we can go ahead and obtain their email and market to them via email. So that's one of the funnels that we do, or we might do like a low ticket type of a funnel. And when we do that low ticket type of a funnel, as it relates to paid ads, in many cases, it can help us to, specifically solve that problem, right? If we set up that conversion process. Because what some people do sometimes, right, and that's because they don't necessarily have the knowledge, is they may send their traffic directly to to a website, and then they say, you know what, hey, my traffic, I'm getting all of this traffic, I'm sending it to my website, and it's not working. Or the other thing that they might do is they may set up the wrong objective. They may be using Facebook ads, for example, and they may use the traffic objective. And when they use the traffic objective, what Facebook is going to do is Facebook is going to send them a whole lot of traffic because Facebook is going to optimize for people who like to click on stuff or for people who like to click on things, but it's not going to necessarily optimize it from a lead generation or from a conversion standpoint. So in that sense, based on that context, right, that is how you can usually solve that problem. But I want to look at things from a different approach. And the approach that I want to look at things from is, let's just say, you know what, hey, Vladimir, I'm not in a position to do paid marketing. I'm not looking to do paid marketing. How do I resolve my traffic problem? Well, one of the things that I was thinking about earlier, and this is something that I first learned from Russell Brunson inside of his book, he talks about the concept of the Dream 100. And basically what that means is that there's a lot of people, whether it be influencers, whether it be podcasters, whether it be YouTubers, that already have your audience, right? They already have a large audience, and that group of individual can and will do business with you, if you get in front of them. One of the most popular podcasts out there is a podcast called Entrepreneurship on Fire by John Lee Dumas, and this individual has a lot of different episodes. He probably has over 1,000 episodes at this point. And I've heard it said that if you get on this person's show, right, you're definitely going to get some traffic. You're definitely going to get some conversions, right? So the concept of Dream 100 allows someone to get in front of that person's audience because that audience is the ideal audience. But if you think about it from the host standpoint, what is it the host is looking for? The hosts know that they don't have the capacity to go ahead and entertain and or to provide content to their target audience. So what they're looking for is they're looking for other individuals, other experts, other people with knowledge and or expertise to provide content to their audience. So in order for that, to work, there's a couple of different things that you have to keep in mind, right? So the first thing that you have to keep in mind is that everyone that goes on those specific shows, they have some type of a framework, they have some type of a methodology. Because if you go and you try to use the same concept that you use on paid ads, it won't work. Because if I'm running a paid ads, what I would do is I can create, when I'm running the paid ads, there's a couple of things to think about when you're running the paid ads. There's the platform, and there's also the marketing funnel. But there's something that happens in between the platform and the marketing funnel. And the thing that happens in between the platform and the marketing funnel is content. Well, if I'm showing someone an ad and I want them to go to my marketing funnel, I can create something, I can go ahead and create content that is very short and is very to the point. I can say, hey, are you a author that's looking to publish your first book, but you have no idea where to start, right? Just click on this link for a free video that's going to show you the 5 things that you need to do to publish your first book. Well, if I take that piece of content and I try to put that same piece of content in front of, say, someone's podcast audience, well, that's not going to work, right? Because that's not enough value. Well, so what they want is they want someone to come to the table and someone that's going to help to fulfill that transformational gap. Because if I think about, John Lee Dumas, for example, Entrepreneurship on Fire, those listeners are on a path, those listeners are on a journey, and there's a gap that those individuals are trying to fulfill. They're trying to accomplish, something. And because, John Lee Dumas in this case, he's not in a position to help all of those audiences. He goes and find the right type of people, and those individuals get in front of the audiences. And when they get in front of the audiences, bam, magic in some cases can happen. So from a transformational gap standpoint, if we know that that's what you need in order to solve that problem, there's 2 ways that you can take a look at it, right? Well, there's 2 ways that you can take a look at it. And the way that I look at it, when I look at, okay, I know that the thing that I need is I need some type of a framework. And I need some type of a methodology so that if I get the opportunity to get in front of the right person's audience, I can go ahead and make that connection. I can go ahead and provide value. And then that person can go ahead and take the next step with me, right? Then I need to go ahead and be prepared in advance. I need to go ahead and have some things ready in advance. I don't know about you, but I've had quite a few interviews in my life, and I'm thinking to myself, man, why didn't I get that job? I answered all of the questions. I was professional. I have the experience, and I'm like, okay, why didn't I get that job? And a lot of times, the reason why we may not necessarily get, there's a lot of reasons why we may not get the job, but one of the reasons why we may not get the job is because we're not necessarily going into it with the proper, game plan. So let me just use an example. Let's just say that there's a business out there that's looking for a marketing person, and I'm a marketing person. There's 2 ways that I can go ahead and approach it. Thing number 1 is I can go in and just answer all of their questions. They're going to ask me these different questions. I'm going to say, yes, I have this experience. Yes, I can do that. And I'm going to go ahead and just answer their question. Or the other thing that I can do is I can go ahead and just do an analysis ahead of time. And I can say, hey, prospective employer, I had the opportunity to do an analysis and I reviewed your entire marketing process. And what I noticed is that on page number 1, you don't have a pixel. Although you're having thousands of people that's going to that page on a monthly basis, you don't have a pixel. And since you don't have a pixel, you don't have the opportunity to retarget those individuals and to remarket to those individuals. So I can see that you're spending money on paid marketing, but it's not properly, optimized. The other thing that I noticed as well is that on that page, you're giving people too many different things to do. So from a conversion standpoint, my guess is your conversion rate is probably in the single digits, when all actuality, it can be in the double digits. So as you can see, as opposed to waiting for them to ask me questions, I was a little bit more proactive, and I came in with a framework, I came in with a game plan, and that game plan will allow that business to go ahead and make some changes to their marketing and to go ahead and make changes to their business, regardless if they decide to hire me or not. So from an impact standpoint, that's going to have a much higher impact because of the preparation, because I thought about, okay, this is where this company is at now. Let's just say they have a 5% conversion rate now. They're looking to have a 15% conversion rate. Well, if they're looking to have a 15% conversion rate, I need to think about the steps. So what are the steps they need to take in order to have a 15% conversion rate? So now I'm going to tell them exactly what those steps are. So I want you to think about it and look at it from that same perspective. When I think about when I tell you the concept of you need to have content in advance, and you need to be able to think about the transformational gap. Think about the audience, think about precisely where the audience is, and think about some of the things that you can share with them that's going to allow them to be able to achieve their goal and meet their objective. And in my humble opinion, I believe that when you have that process and when you have that methodology in place, getting in front of your ideal target market can be just that much more easier, because the people who have the YouTube channels, the people who have the podcasts, the people who have the audience will say, you know what, hey, Vladimir has a methodology and he has a process and he's thought it through. And if he shares that with my audience, it's going to help them to increase their conversion rate. It's going to help them to become just that much better at email marketing. He's going to share 5 things with them, and after they learn what those 5 things are, they can go ahead and implement those 5 things, and those 5 things are going to help them. So then it becomes a win-win type of a situation. The host in this case needs content, right? Because that's what makes the internet goes around. That's what makes a show valuable. So you're giving them content, and you're also helping your audience as well. So that's the thing that I want you to go and do, and or to go and implement. If you need help with this type of stuff, if you're on social media, you can go ahead and send me a message with the word marketing. We can engage, and I can show you some things that you can do from an optimization standpoint. If you happen to be watching this on one of my other platforms, there's going to be a link that's going to give you the option to go ahead and schedule a time for us to speak, and we'll talk about optimization gaps that you may have in your marketing. Pound live if you live. Thank you for tuning in, and pound replay if you're catching this via the replay. That's it for now. I'll talk to you soon.